Hey everybody, welcome back. Okay, so this is a video going over section 442, day 1. What I'd like everybody to do right now is make sure you have your guided notes. The guided notes should have been passed out by the sub. If you do not already have them, make sure you go and get them. Yeah, please go ahead and get out your homework as well. Remember the homework assignment, they should be in the keys and the binders on the desks. Make sure that you check your answers, and then if you have any questions, save them for me for tomorrow, and I'll go over anything you need to. What I'd like for you to do right now is take out a scrap piece of paper. It can be somewhere on your homework, but I'd like you to try this problem. I'd like you to pause and then play whenever you're ready to try this problem. Okay, so remember that f of 0 equaling -4 means that I have the coordinate 0, comma, -4. F of 3 equals 8 means I have the coordinate 3, comma, 8. Now, um, remember that if I wanted to write the function in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b form, then I have to have my m and my b. The nice thing here is that this b value is already given to us. That is our y-intercept. Whenever you see a 0, comma, that is your y-intercept. So my b value is -4. And then my slope, I'm not given, but I am given a way to find. So my m is going to be 8 minus a -4, y minus y, divided by x minus x, 3 minus 0. So 8 minus -4 is 12. And then 3 minus 0 is 3. Well, look at that. My slope is 4. Okay, so that means my equation with these two pieces is y is equal to 4x minus 4. Now, I neglected to say this to my first period class yesterday, but if I wanted to write it as a function, then I should probably put it in function notation. F of x is equal to 4x minus 4. Now remember that, if you got to y is equal to 4x minus 4, I'm pretty happy with that. Just make sure that if the state test had said this, then I bet they would take off points if you didn't write it as a function, like we did down here with this f of x notation. But for our purposes here, if you give it to me as y is equal to, that's fine too. Okay, so hopefully the homework was pretty straightforward. I mean, this should have gone really quick, should be pretty easy. Again, if you have any questions, please ask them tomorrow. Hopefully they shouldn't be too bad. All right, let's take a look at the notes for today. So here starts the guided notes. Okay, so what we're going to be looking at today is not slope-intercept form, but this new method called point-slope form. So we've been learning several forms of a linear equation. Like the first one that we learned was standard form, where we had something like 2x plus 4y equals 16. And it was really easy to find the intercepts, right? That was called standard form. And then we had slope-intercept form, right? And that was our good old y is equal to mx plus b, which we discussed at great length yesterday. What we're going to be looking at now is this thing called point slope form. Now, what we're going to be using point slope form for is to write an equation when we're not given the y-intercept. So you take a look at all of these questions that we had on our homework last night, even the ones with the coordinates. We were given, I know we didn't do number 8, but we were given all of these questions. We were given the y-intercept, right? We were given the y-intercept, even the ones down here. We were given the y-intercept, 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 and so on, right? All of the questions we were given the y-intercept. So what happens if we're not given the y-intercept? Well, what we have to do is use what's called point slope form. So what is it? Okay, point slope form is this right here. Go ahead and star that, circle it, do whatever you need to do. That's one thing that you are going to need to memorize, okay? So y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. So here's how we create point slope. Now, obviously, within the name, you're going to need the point and the slope. The nice thing about point slope form is this does not have to be the y-intercept. This is just any point. That's any point. That could be your x-intercept, that could be your y-intercept, that could be some random point out here or here. It doesn't matter. But what you need is any point and the slope. So here's where it goes in. So if I have the point, 3 comma 5 or whatever, I can say, well, if this is the y value, that's 5. This is 3 comma 5. And say with the slope, I can put the slope in there. So that would look like this. Y minus 5 is equal to 2x minus 3. This, I'm just giving you some example. I just made it up. Okay. If I had the point 3 comma 5 and the slope is 2. Okay, I can just plug in that necessary information, and that's the equation of that line. Okay, if I go to graph that using any sort of graphing methods, that will give me the equation of that line. And what we will use today is we'll be able to turn that into a y equals equation. All right, so let's get to it here. Write an equation in point slope form. Look here, point slope form of the line that passes through the point -8 comma 3 and has a slope of 1/4. Okay, so what we're going to do here, let's first identify if it has to be in point slope form. Let's identify the point and the slope. Well, the m is 1/4. That's pretty easy. Slope of 1/4. And the point is -8 comma 3. Okay, so I would strongly encourage us, because this is a new equation, write it out. Y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. Let's plug in what we know. Remember, the x and the y stay. Okay, I always have people try to write the equation and plug in multiple x's and multiple y's. You can't do that. You need to have one x value and y value stay in there. Okay, y minus y1. Okay, this is, remember, this is x1, y1. So y minus y1, y minus 3 is equal to m, our slope, 1/4, x minus -8. Now, when I write minus negative, I'm going to just turn that into a plus 8. Remember, that is x minus a -8. That's why I'm turning that just into plus 8, because the minus and negative is going to cancel to make a positive. And that's really it. Y minus 3 is equal to 1/4 x plus 8. It might seem really simple to write it like that, just plugging in the necessary information, but I promise you we'll do a little bit more with it a little bit later on. Let's take a look at the next one. Again, if you ever need more time to write anything down, please pause. Okay, the next one. Write an equation in point slope form of a line that passes through point 1 comma 6 and has a slope of -1/2. That's a negative in there. So that means, okay, my slope is -1/2 and my point is 1 comma 6. So let's put it into point slope form. Remember, point slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. Okay, here's your x1, y1. Let's plug it in. Remember, x's and y's stay in. The y stays in. Y minus 6 is equal to m, which is -1/2, x minus 1. And that's my answer. Yeah, we're just going to leave it like that. Whenever your question asks you to put it into point slope form, this is point slope form. So don't move it. Don't change it. Don't touch it. Okay? Trust me, we'll do stuff later with it. But for right now, that's it. So what are we going to do with it now, right? That I keep saying we're going to do stuff later with it, but now is later. Okay, so what we're going to do, I've tried to outline it as simple as possible. Whenever ask you to write the equation of a line, usually when I want you to put it into slope-intercept form, and I'm not giving you your b value, here's what you have to do. You find the slope of the line if it's not already given to you. Find the slope of the line if it's not already given to you. Then use that slope and one of the points to put it into the equation into point slope form. Remember, this is point slope form. We just spent 2 examples going through how to put it into point slope form. My last piece to this is solving this equation for y. What does that mean? That means distribute the m in and then add this y1 over to the other side. And I'll show you what that means here in a second. So let's go through that process again. Find the slope if it's not already given. Maybe you might have to use the slope formula. Remember, the slope formula is m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if you're given 2 points or a graph, it's really easy to find the slope. Then use that slope in one of the points to create point slope form. Lastly, would put it into y-intercept form by solving for y. Solve for y. Okay, let's do it. Write an equation in slope-intercept form for the lines shown. Okay, so first thing is find the slope. What is the slope here? Well, if I'm given a graph, that's really easy to find. Now notice that I'm not given the y-intercept here, so I need to find the slope first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 4. My run is right 2. So my slope is going to be down 4, right 2. My slope is going to be down 4, right 2, which simplifies all the way down into negative 2. Okay, now what I'm going to do is use that slope and one of the 2 points. Now you may be thinking, well, which point do I choose? Do I choose 1, 2, or do I choose 3, negative 2? Here's the beauty of it. It doesn't matter. You can pick either of these 2 points and it's going to come out the exact same way. So I always like to stay positive. You know me, I like to stay positive. So let's pick the 2 coordinates that are both positive, 1, 2. Okay, so that was step 1, find the slope. Second step, put it into point slope form. Y minus 2, this is my 2 where it's coming from, is equal to negative 2, my slope, x minus 1. Okay, this is my x1, y1. So y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. Now, step 3 says solve for y. Distribute. Y minus 2 is equal to negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2. And then I add the 2 to both sides to get y completely alone. Negative 2x plus 4. And that's my equation. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 4. You may be thinking to yourself, well, wait a sec. What if I had chosen to use 3, negative 2? What if I had instead picked 3, negative 2? Are you sure it actually comes out to be the same thing? Let's double check. Okay, this would have been y minus a negative 2, so y plus 2 is equal to negative 2, our slope, times x minus 3, right? My slope is still the same. This is your x1, y1 now. Let's solve it. Let's distribute. Y plus 2 is equal to negative 2x plus 6. Negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6. And then we subtract 2 here. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 4. Look at that. I get the exact same thing. It doesn't matter which point you choose to create your slope or to create your slope-intercept form. You can pick the first point or the second point. As long as you solve it for y, it's going to be the exact same thing no matter what. Let's do that one more time. Okay. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here. So my slope here, I take rise 1, 2, 3, 4, and I run 1, 2. Oh, rise 4, run 2. So this kind of has the same slope, it's just one's positive, one's negative. So this ends up being 2 again. Okay. Now, both of these points have some negative pieces to it. So let's just pick the first one there, 4, negative 2. And what I do is I put it into point slope form. Y minus negative 2, so y plus 2 is equal to m x minus 4. Distribute the 2 to 2x minus 8. I subtract the 2. Y is equal to 2x minus 10. And there's my answer. Okay. So what was the process again? Find the slope, step 1. Step 2, put it in a slope-intercept form. Step 3, solve it. Or sorry, put it in point slope form, excuse me. Okay, so that's if I'm given a graph. What if I'm not given a graph? What if I'm given 2 points? Okay. So what happens when we're given 2 points? Well, I do the exact same process. First thing, find the slope. Now in this case, I can't just like read it. I can't just take the rise and the run. I actually have to figure out what my slope formula is. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which in this case is 10 minus 4 over 3 minus 1. So 10 minus 4 is 6, 3 minus 1 is 2, So my slope is 3. Okay, so I've got m is 3, and now I can pick either point. Pick either point to put it into point slope form. Let's pick 1 comma 4. That looks easier. I don't know, 3 comma 10, just bigger numbers. So I take y minus y1, the y1 being here, is equal to mx minus x1, the 1 being here. Okay, now, last step, solve for y. I distribute, and then I add over, or subtract over, whatever the sign tells you to do. 3x plus 1 is my line. Okay, there it is. Okay, let's do that a couple more times. Let's take a look here. All right, so we got -4 comma -1 and 8 comma -4. -4 comma -1 and 8 comma -4. All right, so in this case, I have my m is -4 minus -1 divided by 8 minus -4. So -4 minus -1, that would be -3, because that's, remember, -4 plus 1, right? That's a big plus sign there, double negative, divided by 8 minus -4, again, big plus sign here, 12. Now, reduce that down, that is -1/4. Okay, divide top and bottom by 3. All right, so let's pick m is equal to -1/4, and I don't know, instead of doing the double negative, let's do a single negative here, so 8 comma -4. So that gives me y minus -4, so y plus 4 is equal to m x minus 8. Distribute in. So y plus 4 is equal to -1/2 x. -1/2 times -8 is a +4. And then I subtract the 4. Oh, so in this case, that goes away. -1/2 x is my final answer. Runs through the origin, I guess. So y-intercept is 0. Okay. Let's keep it going. Same type of thing here. Slope here, 3 minus 8 over 6 minus -9. So 3 minus 8 is -5. 6 minus -9 is a 15. So that is a negative. 5 over 15 is 1 over 3. Divide top and bottom by 5. So my slope is -1/3. And let's pick 6 comma 3. They're both positive. So this means y minus 3 is equal to -1/3 x minus 6. We distribute in the -1/3. So y minus 3 is equal to -1/3 x plus 2. 1/3 of 6 is 2. Add the 3 over to the other side. This gives me y is equal to -1/3 x plus 5. There it is. Okay. And our last one here. Same type of thing. Not changing a thing here. First step, find the slope. 7 minus 4 over 3 minus a -6. Okay, so 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 minus -6 is a +9, which is 1/3 again. Okay, let's pick 3 comma 7 again because it's both positive. So m is 1/3, 3 comma 7. So it's y minus 7 is equal to 1/3 x minus 3. So y minus 7 is equal to, let's distribute in the 1/3, 1/3 x minus 1. And when I add the 7, that gives me y is equal to 1/3 x plus 6. There's my answer. Now, remember, what is the difference between what we were doing yesterday and what we're doing today? The main difference is, look at all of these problems. None of them, I gave you the y-intercept. Like for all of these ones, now again, pause if you need to finish copying that down, but none of these, look, These didn't give you the y-intercept. There's no 0 comma a number anywhere in this entire notes. Look, we can't even tell what the y-intercept is up here in these graphs. Like, where is the y-intercept? I can't tell. So these are problems when you cannot tell the y-intercept. You have to use this method when the y-intercept, when you're like, what is b? I don't know. What is my b value? I don't know. I can't tell that right now. So what you have to do is use point slope to solve for y to see, oh, b is 1. Oh, b is 0. Oh, b is 5. Okay, so that's the main difference between what we were doing yesterday and what we're doing today. Okay, so the rest of the time you should be able to work on your homework. Hopefully you can get a good chunk of that done today in class. And yeah, if you guys need anything, just let me know. Thanks.